Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Hummy and peace out to the rest of you. I ain't going through the long introduction this time. You saw my title, you know who I am, and you know which button I'm going to ask you to hit and why. And you know I appreciate you and why I appreciate you. Now that being said, let me get to it. MOT asked a valid and poignant question in this video. Why do men attack SYSBM and women don't? And granted, I know that there are women who do it. I know that many of them don't like the idea, but he's right that they don't attack with the same vigor or in the same numbers per se as the men. Let's put it like this. How many men and how many women altogether launch the attacks, we don't know. But any individual listener is more likely to hear an attack or a detraction on SYSBM from a man, a matriarchal mamdingo or a gynocrat goon, than he is ever likely to hear it from a matriarch herself. Now, sadly, these men have less reason, yet they'll make fools of themselves. And MOT said there is no harm, and I'm going to remember this quote. He said, there is no harm in leaving broken stuff alone. There is plenty of harm in taking it with you elsewhere. There's one other answer, though, I want to give. And if MOT, if you have already answered with this answer, then forgive me because I may have just never heard it. But I'm going to say another answer that wasn't in the video because I want other men to hear it, and I want them to tell young brothers that they know in person. Now, I'm not going to ask them to use YouTube to do so and to target a younger audience, but I'm going to ask young men that hear this to tell younger men they know in person what this answer is. It is because it's related to an answer you did give, though slightly different. You were saying that being the Negro buck should be fun, but it must not be that fun. I'm sure they enjoy the position of being the Negro buck. The thing is this. We normal men have paid the bucks for them to be the bucks. And when we bounce in large enough numbers, as you yourself said, in 3 years, you could see the effects and the women would start to notice. Now, I don't know if it's 3 years, but I am very sure that if this pattern continues, yes, at some point, the matriarchs are bound to notice an absence of the men who will pay the bucks so that they can go and enjoy the other bucks without presenting them with the bills. And when we no longer pay the bucks and there are none of us around, then they have to go to the bucks to collect the bucks. The bucks being all of the non-sexual favors and attention that they still require. So, Rusty Ball said this, and I made mention of it, and then the next day it was gone. His channel was out, and I don't know if he ever came back up under another name or what. But he did say that the reason why women actually deceive the younger men, even in their own families, even their own sons, into becoming exactly the kind of man that women don't want to screw is because of all of the non-sexual things they can get from the men they don't want to screw. There's still a value. It's just that their value is non-sexual. When a man withdraws, of course, he no longer is willing to offer these things. And so, as such, of course, the women get upset. Well, SYSBM are saying that they will no longer offer sexual or non-sexual value to the women of the Matrix, the wicked witches of the West. The women aren't really, they don't like that much when they hear about it, but a lot of them haven't really even paid attention because, as you said, they can usually get their needs met by someone when, at least when they're young. But the men understand what's going on. The men realize that they realize what you said. The plan for these women all along was to find someone like us to pay the bucks for them to keep on screwing the bucks. Just they would screw these bucks from the side. See, they make great side Negroes and they're happy with that. And they know this. That's what it comes down to. They're happy with your wife sneaking behind your back with your money to trick off them. They're happy with that. They're actually collecting some of the bucks. The ones that are launching the attacks are the ones who know the drill, and either they want to be these guys collecting your bucks to be the bucks, or they already are the guys collecting your bucks to be the bucks. And they realize that they're not going to collect the bucks or at least be the buck for free. They understand that they're going to have to then pay the bucks to be the bucks, and they're not willing to do that. That's all it really is. And really, it's nothing more. I'm sure you understood it, but I wanted to answer that and put that answer in for those who saw your video, because some of them may know the other answers you gave, but they may forget about this one, and this is very important. This is why I am saying that we must do exactly what the detractors are telling us not to do. We must target gentlemen under 18 with this message. And we should do that to those we know in person. That's what we must do. So, my son is 18. Some of his buddies are still 17. He now has my advice to target them and tell them to tell other guys under 18 and under their own age. And for this to trickle down all the way until until they get to an age wherein the listener is simply not capable of understanding or grasping what's going on. Then this way, when these mothers go in and tell these boys these lies, they tell them at the ages that they usually tell them, the boys can look at the mother and say, but so-and-so said that they want one guy to be their boyfriend and the other guy to just pay for them and take care of them. I don't see why I should pay and take care of a woman so that somebody else can be her boyfriend. And that's even a 7-year-old, if he understands what they want, he would say, there's no reason for me to do this. And then these mothers, they can no longer protect the interest of their gender at the expense of any male, even at the expense of their own sons. This is, I know mothers are not going to approve of us going after their sons with this message. Of course they're not. The day that they say, you know what, go ahead and tell them, is the day that that the gender has collectively changed tactics. Because somehow when it comes to this, they're all able to reach an agreement, and this predates electronic media, let alone the internet or social media. This is something that has been going on for God knows how long. Thank you for being patient, MOT. I look forward to the next one you drop. I'm still going through bit by bit the last panel that you have, but it takes time. I'm always interrupted as a teacher and a husband. I'm always interrupted. So it's going to take me time to listen to that. Maybe you answered this question with the answer. I also maybe included the answer I gave in that one, but I just haven't had time to hear it yet. But thank you a million times over. I'm waiting on you to drop the next one. And stay on them, man, please. I appreciate that. And I mean that. Don't let the detractors go uncontested. Blackheart, sign 'em black out. Assalamu alaikum and black male power.